than love.
Wow. Dr. Sigfred, you are really going deep. I believe we need to have a conference on this topic, because this is more than a one night kind of thing. This cannot be a one night kind of stand thing. This is deeper than that, Dr. Howell.
I'm just whetting your appetites.
And so we're gonna have to.
You can sign up and talk to me personally.
Exactly, we're gonna have to have a conference with this. But this is real good information, ladies and gentlemen. We're talking with Dr. Sigfred Howell. He's a life happiness and relationship consultant, among other things that he does. He's an author of several books available on Amazon, and he was just talking about one of his books that he has in the train right now. But Dr. Howell, as we go along, and ladies and gentlemen, we use up the chat a lot in this room, because in the next 5-10 minutes, we are going to be closing this segment of the program, where we are going to allow persons in the audience, if you heard something, or if you have a burning question, something that you want clarified, if you have recommendations, whatever you want to say, we do have a segment in the next 5-10 minutes where we are going to be doing that, so that you can place your comments, questions in the chat, or when we're ready, you can raise your virtual hand. You can ask the question on your own. Dr. Howell, I know we're going to have a part 2, but I'm coming down with 2 other questions that I have for you right now. And, you know, we have been hearing this thing. I mean, if you have ever been on social media, you would have heard this thing times and times over. It's not just among young people, it's among so many different generations, Z, Y, X, whatever it is, because they are talking that relationships, particularly intimate relationships and even marriage, are more of an economic connection in this time, rather than a kind of heart-to-heart connection. And so, you know, the question is always asked when people are going into relationships is, what do you bring to the table? And so I want to hear your take on that. What do you think about that?
All right, so here's the thing. I've been online quite a bit too, and I have listened to the what people are saying. People have this term, high value man, high value woman. And the weird thing about it is this: women, when they think that they are high value, they look at it from a man's standpoint. They believe that a high value woman is a woman who has money, has the house, has the bank account, and all that. And most of the time, high value men just want peace in their life. So they're looking for a traditional type woman, and not necessarily a woman to match their energy and their vibrato. And so a lot of women, especially online, and I'm not speaking from my perspective, I'm speaking from the perspective of online right now. So I don't want to get any backlash from anyone who's saying that I'm chauvinistic, but online they're saying that a high value man, a man who makes over $100,000 to $150,000 a year, is not looking for a woman who makes $150,000 to $200,000 a year. He's looking for a woman as a companion, to give him peace, to give him solitude, to give him whatever. And a lot of times we misquote what the other person believes is valuable. And so what I want to answer that question with is this: to be a high value person, you have to first know what that person values. So that's why the connection is so important, because once you connect, you can communicate authentically. And once you can communicate authentically, I can tell my partner what I need, what I want. And I did a little experiment on my wife. I was looking at the 5 love languages, and I knew what my wife's love language was, but I wanted to try an experiment. So for 2 weeks, I said to my wife, hey, I really appreciate you doing this for me. I really appreciate when you said this to me. I appreciate when you looked out for me and stuff. And she was like, yeah, fine, no problem, you know. But it wasn't until 2 weeks later, I did something that was on the honey-do list, and that's when she had the sparkle in her eyes, and she was like, "Oh my goodness, you actually got that done. I am so happy." Her love language is acts of service. She doesn't care about affirmations. Affirmations are fine, but it's regular. If you want to talk her language, do something that she asks you to do, and she's all happy. And so when you're talking about value, you have to find out what your love language is and what your partner's love language is, and then you have to be bilingual. You have to communicate that authentically. Now, to communicate that authentically, everyone needs to feel safe in that environment. Because if I'm telling you how I feel and you're knocking it down, eventually I'm going to stop telling you how I feel, and then we start to grow apart. So we have to be authentic about it. And so what is high value and what is someone? So if I'm running behind you because of money, what are you bringing to add value to me? See, what you might need is money, and I have money, but you also have to bring something to me, because all relationships start out transactional. But if they're going to last, you need to add a deeper component. You have to put roots in that relationship so that when the butterfly feelings wear off between 7 months to 2 years to 3 years, we have some roots that can actually sustain that relationship. And so, yes, you might be beautiful and I might have money, but beauty fades on both males and females. And so is that going to be enough? Or are you going to get replaced by someone younger or richer? So you have to put roots in. And so to me, you can have a transactional relationship, but if you can't grow it into a love-based or a service-based relationship, it'll never go anywhere substantial. And so that to me is the answer to that question. I don't care whether you're old or young. Money runs out. If people are being toxic to you, eventually people say money is not enough. And some people might say beauty is not enough for you to be gaslighting me on a regular basis. And so with that being said, you have to go from a transactional to a service-based relationship. That's the only thing that my research has shown me will work over time, and it's biblically based.
Ladies and gentlemen, we